In this video, we're going to take one of the last Blotato videos that Sabrina herself made, showing you how to easily automate and post on social media with one API call. It'll be my first time doing it, so I'm going to walk you guys through everything she said from scratch, and I'm going to demonstrate to you as a complete beginner in this what she's talking about in that video by following it to the T from scratch. We're going to automate our script, we're going to automate our text to image, we're going to automate that image and animate it, make it come to life, and we're going to automatically post it on social media. We're going to download her template that she left. We're going to link our social accounts from Blotato to our platforms, and we're going to try to make this very, very simple that even complete beginners like myself can understand, do, and follow. So let's get right into it. All right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up all our social media accounts with Blotato AI. So we're going to link it. And if you have not signed up for Blotato AI, yeah, I'll leave a link in the description for you. You can check it out. But that's the first thing we're going to do. So we're going to go to Blotato AI, and I'm going to log in. Okay, once we're logged in, I'm only going to link my TikTok account to Blotato AI. And guys, I'll leave a checklist for all of these instructions that we're going to do. So that it's easy for you guys to follow when you're trying to do it yourself. Okay, and I'll leave a description. I'll leave a link for that checklist in the description. So once we, let's just go and set up my TikTok account here. So we're going to go to settings, and down in the settings, as you can see, you can log in Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok. We're going to do TikTok, and you can do Instagram, Threads, Pinterest, Bluesky, and YouTube. So we're going to do TikTok. I want to make sure that I'm logged in because I have a couple of accounts. This is going to go in my Faceless TikTok account. You want to make sure that in the browser that you're using, you are logged into your account. In my case, it has to be the correct account. So I don't want to be logged in my other one, which I am. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to sign out. I'm going to log out, and then I'm going to log back in. Get a code at my cell phone, 560934. Boom, and then my password. All right, there it is, right here, my Faceless account. Once I'm logged in, let's go back to Blotato. I'm gonna click log in with TikTok, and here it is. Post content on TikTok. It's gonna give it permission to do that. Upload draft content to TikTok for further editing. Continue. Boom. Our social media account is connected. Okay. Step number 2 is I'm gonna have to sign up for N8N, N8N, the automation thing that system that Sabrina has used to work with Blotato. So I'm gonna sign up for N8N and then N8N, N8N, and then I'm gonna download the template that Sabrina left for us to download for free so that we can make all of this work. So I'm gonna go to her YouTube video actually, and I'm gonna get the template. I'm just gonna get the link to the template, and the YouTube video is this right here, the Easy AI Agent System. And if I go down, here's the free N8N make or /make template. I'm gonna click on that, and it's right here. She tells you what you need for prerequisites to make this happen, and she also has a checklist for this too. The Easy AI system creates faceless videos on autopilot. So let's get the N8N template. So I'm gonna get started for free. This is the N8N. I'm gonna sign up for that. Put in my email, sign up for that. Choose my password, account name. And then we'll start a 14-day trial. Hit save my password. It's gonna ask me some questions. What team are you on? This helps us customize your experience in N8N. Let's see, I'm in marketing. Is probably the best thing for me. What is the size of your company? Less than 20. How did you hear about N8N? Let's put YouTube, because that's where I found it. And then I'm going to skip this invite team members section. and then my workspace is going to be starting up. And then I'll just hit start automating. And here is the N8N dashboard, I guess. Here we go. And what's down here in the templates? And it has templates for you, which is pretty cool. Trending AI templates, featured templates. And this is my very first time using this product. So let's go back and see how we can get Sabrina's template to pop up. Let's go back to her. So just clicking on her link didn't really pop up a template for me. So let me get rid of some of these screens here, and we're going to try to figure this out together, guys. We're going to try to figure this out together. So to import the template, I got to download the JSON file on top of this thing. Okay, on top of this chat. Is it this one here? Nope. Let's go back to her YouTube video. Let's see here. What if I log in? If I log in, let me see if I log in. Three templates are at the bottom. Just import into N8N. So at the bottom, import to appear. So it says to import the template, download the JSON file on top of this chat in N8N or N8N or make, click import. The full workflow should appear. Executions, workflows. Nope. So we need to find the JSON file. We need to find the JSON file for this. Set the JSON files on top of this chat. 4 hearts. What's this? Let's go back. This worked. Let's go back to her video. It says free templates are at the bottom, so maybe let's check out the bottom. Maybe she made a mistake. Okay, so here's the N8N template here. And let's download it. Let's see if we do open with. And then once we download it, she says she wants us to import it. So create workflow maybe. And then open nodes. So that's just I'm just trying to find where we can actually import a workflow. Project. Maybe add project, no. Test a sample AI agent, no. Open chat, set up template. Nope, I don't want to create a new chat model. Okay, let's go back to her instructions again. In N8N, click import. Let's go back to overview, leave without saving. There's nothing for import that I can see. Import right here. So what I did was I went to create workflow, start from scratch, 3-dotted line up here next to the save, import from file. So let's find that JSON file right here in my download. I'm going to open it, and here it is. Boom, we figured it out. The template workflow is here. It just popped up just like she said it would. That's cool. All right, so we've linked up our TikTok account. We found a way after some trial and error here to import the template into N8N, but we signed up for N8N first, a 14-day trial, and I've never used any of this stuff. And now we imported the template. We figured that out. And then boom, the template is up. Now we have to follow her instructions to the T. I want to just link my first video to my TikTok account, and we'll see how that goes. So we're just going to start following her instructions. So let's get right into it again. So step one is done. JSON file, the template is in N8N. The full workflow should appear, and it appeared. Step two is to get the workflow running for the first time. You only need to configure 2 nodes. So number one, prepare video. Here's how the node looks. The only field that you need to fill out is this Blotato API key, which you can get here. Okay. So the Blotato API key. So it looks like this key that is highlighted here. So let's go back and see what the workflow looks like. Let's zoom in. So we right click that section here and we right clicked it and hit open. So let's see what this has here. This has prompt instructions here. So her instructions for the prompt is brainstorm 50 different viral faceless videos ideas related to theme, little known history facts about famous person. And then the second instructions for the AI is to randomly select one of the ideas, research relevant statistics, dates, and figure out figures related to the specific idea. And then write a 15-second video script for viral faces video. Use 6th-grade language, use active voice, and start with a hook. Okay. So now I'm having a little bit of a hard time where to put in our API key. Let's check this here. So it looks like in this section here, the structured output phrase, that might be it. What's the brainstorm idea section here? Let's open that up. And that's just to, okay, so we have to connect our ChatGPT. So credentials for OpenAI ChatGPT models are now set. Okay. I wonder if we have to connect our ChatGPT from Blotato. I'm not sure. Maybe create new credential. Let's see here. So let's see if we can get our credentials from ChatGPT then, our API. Let's log in. I'm getting crazy emails here. We'll log into ChatGPT. Boom. We'll get a code for our email. Boom. Code, yes. Let's do that. So we'll get a code, and if I go to my account section here, my GPTs settings, I'm assuming I'm going to find my API key in settings. Connected apps, general. Nope, it's not there. Tasks. Let's see. Let's ask GPT, how can I get an AP key from my ChatGPT account to connect with N8N? Automation. So let's see what ChatGPT says. To integrate ChatGPT, open account with N8N. Okay, we did that. Log into your OpenAI, visit OpenAI API keys page and sign in. Let's click on the link that ChatGPT gave us. So we clicked on the link that ChatGPT gave us for that. Let's log into our OpenAI account. And let's see what it comes up with. API keys. So you actually have to log into a link. And I will leave a link to OpenAI's on how to create an API key. Okay, I'll leave a link for that. Here, so let me just make a note of that. So I'll make a note in my notes section here to chat GPT API linking. Okay, that's done. Let's go back here. So let's create a new secret key. I'll call this my N8N template. Default project, create secret key. Okay, looks like we have an API key generated. Let's hit copy. Let's go back to N8A and N8N. I can't say that word right. And it's in. Man, that's long. Okay. And let's save. Successfully. And it says connection tested successfully. Okay. So we are connected to our chat GPT, and I guess to give us different models, you can select different models too. Let's just stick with the 4.0, and that's done. So the only other thing that we have to go to is this structured output parser section here. We're going to right click it. We're going to open it again. And we're going to have to put in our API key from Blotato AI. And I'm guessing it goes right here. Okay, and if I go back to Sabrina's video, I'll just double check with that. I'll go back to her video and see what...
Got a $1 billion web app idea? Now you can turn it into reality with Hosting Your Horizons.
Faceless AI videos are blowing
7 after
media and my newsletter, and I previously built and sold an AI company. So hit like, hit subscribe, and drop a comment below if you want more free N8N and make templates without having to join a school community. Okay, so let's dive into how the workflow works. There are basically 3 parts. Number 1 is writing the video script first, and then I'll explain the only 2 nodes that you need to edit to get the entire workflow up and running for the... You can customize it if you want it to run this trigger will the entire workflow up and running for the first time. The first step is researching and writing a video script. This trigger will run every single day, but you can customize it if you want it to run every single hour instead. Okay. And then this AI agent node is responsible for brainstorming ideas for faceless videos. You can put your theme here. My placeholder is little known history facts about a famous person. Then it selects one of the ideas and researches more information about that idea. And then it writes a 15-second video script. Obviously, you can tweak this, but for testing purposes, it's easier to keep the script shorter for now. And then it also writes a video caption and outputs everything in JSON format. That's what this is, the structured output parser, so that the output is always nice and structured this way. And then for brainstorm idea, you just need to connect your OpenAI account and choose whichever model you like. I personally think 4.0 is just fine for this. This first part will output our video scripts as well as the video caption. Now, the next step is to actually create the faceless video, and for that, you will need an account with Blotato.com. This is an app that I've built. It's basically an all-in-one content creator tool.
I think we missed the first part, so let's go back up a little bit more because we need to find out where we can put in our API key.
They were just too friendly.
And so this is automatically created within the workflow and posted it to my Instagram. And real quick, if you don't know me, my name's Sabrina Romanov. I'm an AI educator with over 700,000 followers across social media and my newsletter. And I previously built and sold an AI company. So hit like, hit subscribe, and drop a comment below if you want more free N8N and make templates without having to join a school community. Okay, so let's dive into how the workflow works. There are basically 3 parts. Number 1 is writing the video script. Number 2 is creating a faceless video. And number 3 is publishing to social media. So I'll walk through what each node does first, and then I'll explain the only 2 nodes that you need to edit to get the entire workflow up and running for the first time. The first step is researching and writing a video script. This trigger will run every single day, but you can customize it if you want it to run.
Need to change.
Bottom left here. And this is where you're going to connect the social accounts that you want to post.
So we did that. We connected our social account.
And these are your accounts IDs. To get your API key, scroll down to API access, and there will be a button to generate your API key. Note that, again, this is a paid feature, so don't do it unless you are ready to convert to a paid subscription. Here are the API docs for creating a faceless video. Go to help.blotato.com. Okay, and here's the create video endpoint. And what's really neat about this is it combines a lot of different functionality into one simple API call. So you may have seen lots of other tutorial templates that show you how to make faceless videos, but you have separate API calls to generate the images, to generate the videos, to generate the captions, and to generate the voiceover, and also to stitch everything together so that it can be published to social media. This one API endpoint unites everything. You put in your template, script, style you want, animate first image, or if you want to animate all the images, and then you can choose your text to image model as well as your image to video model. And we have all the good ones. Frame Pack is the default one because it's the cheapest, but there's also Runway, Luma, Kling 1.6, Minimax, Hunyan, and Google's VO2. Now this template object is really interesting. So if you scroll down here, template. Right now I have 2 types of templates. Empty basically means AI will just take your script as is, clean it up a little bit, and generate a video with an AI voiceover like you'd expect. However, if you want a POV type of template, like those types of POV videos are going viral, this template will basically interpret your script and then change it into a POV style of video. For this tutorial, we're just going to leave it empty, but this is something you can play around with. And just note that for each template, there are slightly different options, right? So the empty template has these options already baked into workflow automation, so you don't need to add them. But if you do switch to the wake up,
this looks like the section where you can go and customize your API call. I think, right?
Template. Keep in mind that you have these additional parameter options as well. Okay, so to set everything up, make sure you grab your Blotato API key, expand this so it's easy to read. All you need to do at this point is insert your Blotato API key here. You don't need to touch anything else, but I'll still walk through what the values are. As I was saying, the empty template will basically take your script as is and then convert it into an AI video, and it will use this voiceover. If you want different types of voices, you can check them out here. And then the caption position can be top, middle, or bottom. The script is pulled from the AI agent that wrote the scripts, and the style can be like cinematic or horror, all the different styles we support.
So this node she's in, I believe, is right here. Let's go back to it. Is it this one here? No, it's not. It's the structured output parser, I believe. No. Actually, it's not. I think she's in this section here, prepare video. Right here. Okay, yep. So she's right here in the prepare video section, the very first, it's like a pencil thing here in this node area. So she has the Blotato API key, like in quotations. So that's where our Blotato API key is going to go. And then the template style here. And then there's a voice ID. So we can play around with different like styles of the template style or the voice ID by going into that API help section that she pointed out in the video. Let's go back to the video here and
This template, you're only going to animate the first image in your scene. If you don't want to do that, if you want to make it even faster to test everything, change it to false. Okay. And then if you want to animate all the images, just like I was showing you with the Napoleon example, you'll want to set this to true. And this is where you put your text to image model and your image to video model. So I like to use Recraft if you want realistic looking images with people. Otherwise, Flux Pro is also really, really neat. Okay, and that's all you have to touch there. You don't need to touch these 3 other nodes. This create video node will take all of the information.
All right, let's go back to like, let's see what Let's see what we have for some of our templates. We'll keep the replicate recraft. Frame pack. I might change image to video model. I might change that frame pack to something else. But let's pull up that section that she talked about where we can go. Well, let's get our API key first. Generate API key. Then we copy. But I wonder if we have to mess with our the template section of the API key. And then every time we customize it, do we have to regenerate another API key so that API key that you have is consistent with the template style you wanted? Let's go back. I got to get back to that template section. So let's go back to where she said we can go and get API key help.
The script is, and just note that for each template, there are slightly different options, right? So the empty template has these options already baked into the workflow automation, so you don't need to add them. But if you do switch to the wake up template, keep in mind that you have these additional parameter options as well. Okay, so to set everything up, make sure to the workflow automation, so you don't need to add them. But if you do switch to the wake up template, interpret your script and then change it into a POV style of video. For this tutorial, we're just going to leave it empty, but this is something you can play around with. And just note that for each template, there are slightly different options, right? So the empty template has these options already baked into the workflow automation, so you don't need to add them. But if you do switch to the wake up template, keep in mind that you have these additional parameter options as well. Okay, so to set everything up, make sure you grab your Blotato API key, expand this so it's easy to read. All you need to do at this point is insert your Blotato API key here. You don't need to touch anything else, but I'll
Let's see how she got to this section here, the template section.
Paid feature, so don't do it unless you are ready to convert to a paid subscription. Here are the API docs for creating a faceless video. Go to help.blotato.com, okay, and here's the create video endpoint.
So I guess if we go to the help section, we're going to look for API templates. So I'm trying to find maybe the Blotato API settings. What was the link she said? Help.blotato.com. Let's see if I can zoom in what she has. API reference create video. Let me try that. help.blotato.com/API/ the API templates, API keys. No, it wouldn't be there. API/reference/create video. Let me try that link. API/reference/create-video. This is a toughie. Trying to figure out where she got that template section from. Create video/V2 videos creation. So, okay, API reference. Let's go over there. I see it now. I'm sorry, I'm a little slow. All right, so let's go back to the help section. Where were we? So the API section, API reference, right here. So the API section. So if we go to my help.blotato.com, it's API reference, and then create/V2/videos/creations. And here it is here. So here's the API templates. If we want to make changes to the node section in the N8N template she has. So I kind of do want to change it to the POV wake up.
And what's really neat about this is it combines a lot of different functionality into one simple API call. So you may have seen lots of other tutorial templates that show you how to make faceless videos, but you have separate API calls to generate the images, to generate the videos, to generate the captions, and to generate the voiceover, and also to stitch everything together so that it can be published to social media. This one API endpoint unites everything. You put in your template, script, style you want, animate for first image, or if you want to animate all the images, and then you can choose your text to image model as well as your image to video model. And we have all the good ones. Frame pack is the default.
This is the image to video model section she's talking about here. Up here, request body, and then template parameters. And this is what she was talking about, the template parameter. You can either leave it empty or use the POV wake up section. And then the parameters for the POV wake up section are right here. So I got to figure out how to change that.
One because it's the cheapest, but there's also Runway, Luma, Kling 1.6, Minimax, Hunyan, and Google's VO2. Now, this template object is really interesting. So if you scroll down here, template. Right now, I have two types of templates. Empty basically means AI will just take your script as is, clean it up a little bit, and generate a video with an AI voiceover like you'd expect. However, if you want a POV type of template, like those types of POV videos are going viral, this template will basically interpret your script and then change it into a POV style of video. For this tutorial, we're just going to leave it empty, but this is something you can play around with. And just note that for each template, there are slightly different options, right? So the empty template has these options already baked into the workflow automation, so you don't need to add them. But if you do switch to the wake up template, keep in mind that you have these additional parameter options as well.
All right, so let's do that. So let's choose the POV, and then we'll look at the N8N node and see what those parameters look like for the empty, and then just make it the same for the POV parameters. So let's do that. Why don't we go back to our template and let's put in our API key first. Let's see what she continues to say in the video.
Options as well. Okay, so to set everything up, make sure you grab your Blotato API key, expand this so it's easy to read. All you need to do at this point is insert your Blotato API key here. You don't need to touch anything else, but I'll still walk through what the values are. As I was saying, the empty template will basically take your script as is and then convert it into an AI video, and it will use this voiceover. If you want different types of voices, you can check them out here. And then the caption position can be top, middle, or bottom. The script is pulled from the AI agent that wrote the scripts, and the style can be like cinematic or horror, all the different styles we support. For this template, you're only going to animate the first image in your scene. If you don't want to do that, if you want to make it even faster to test everything, change it to false. Okay. And then if you want to animate all the images, just like I was showing you with the Napoleon example, you'll want to set this to true. And this is where you put your text to image model and your image to video model. So I like to use Recraft if you want realistic looking images with people. Otherwise, Flux Pro is also really, really neat. Okay. And that's all you have to touch there. You don't need to touch these three other nodes. This tutorial, we're just going to leave. You don't need to touch anything else, but I'll still walk through what the values are. As I was saying, the empty template will basically take your script as is and then convert it as is and then.
Okay, let's get our API key. Let's do that. Copy API key. Let's go back to our automation. Create video section. Open. Nope, that's not it. I think it's prepare video right here. And we don't want to do that. I want to expand it. So what did she say to expand? Maybe this, yep, right here. So to expand it, you hit this button here, little down arrow thingy. So let's just put in our API key, paste it in. There it is. And I want to change our template to POV style. So let's go back to our API reference. So we just have to follow these parameters here for our POV section. So for the POV wake up, I'm going to copy that and let's go back to our workflow. The first scene text string, what's that? I'm going to change to animate all. I'm going to change that to true. So where do we change the parameters? Best slide scorecard. Oh, okay. Okay, I think I see what she says. So it looks like the first scene text string, it's not required. Caption position topness, so text position won't be required. List of scenes to generate, see the scene model below. Won't be required. So we're only dealing with the base POV wake up. So first scene text string, not required. Caption position. So what does the caption position say here? So that's going to be tricky here. The caption position. So do we take it out since it's not required? I'm kind of stumped on this one. So I'm not sure if we just leave it like it is and then test run it and see if it works. And if it doesn't work, we know that we have to fix that caption position. We'll come back to it. Okay. And I think the last thing we have to do is, the second thing is we have to link our social account on the template, I guess.
Convert it into an AI video, and it will use this option. Can be top. You'll want to set for the video to be completed. And by the way, the weight amount is looking images with people. Otherwise, Flux Pro is also really, really neat. Okay. And that's all you have to touch there. You don't need to touch these three other nodes. This create video node will take all of the information from the previous step, right? And populate it over here so that it's ready to go. And then you wait for the video to be completed. And by the way, the wait amount is something you may want to change depending on the length of your video. So when you're animating images into video clips, that process alone takes 5 minutes. And then it also takes a couple of minutes to render the final video. So if you are animating any image into a video, I suggest a minimum wait amount of 10 minutes, even longer if your script is longer, because again, we're generating all those video clips and then rendering the video itself. So it takes some time. And then this step, get video, just retrieves the video when it's done. Pretty straightforward. Again, you don't need to touch anything else except the prepare video node. Okay. Now, once your video is ready, you'll want to prepare it for publishing. So go ahead and open this node, prepare for publish. And here you'll want to fill out, again, your Blotato API key and one of your account IDs. So let's say Instagram ID, go to Blotato settings, find Instagram, click copy account ID, okay, then paste it in right here. Okay, so whichever account you have, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook.
Let's put in our. All right, so now we're going to go to prepare for publish. We're going to go to publish to social media. So we need to get our API key. So we're going to open up this section here, prepare. For publish, we have to put in our Blotato API key right here. So let's just expand this node here so we can see it nice and good like this, where we can put in the stuff we need to put in. So we're going to prepare for publish. We're going to start off by putting in our Blotato API key, and then we're going to put on our one social media platform. We're going to use TikTok, so we got to get our TikTok ID, and we're still here at this part of the video with Sabrina, where it's prepared for publish. So let me go get my Blotato API key. I'm going to copy API key. If you need to regenerate, just regenerate here. And then I'll go here and put in my Blotato key in between the quotation marks. Boom. I hope it's in between the quotation marks. If not, we'll get an error. We'll have to come back and troubleshoot. If you hear noises, that's my daughter in the background. It's the only time I get to record with her home. I watch her and I try to do this content thing at the same time. So I apologize for that. But you know what? We got to do what we got to do. So now let's go in for our TikTok ID. Let's put that in. We're going to go back to Blotato. And I've got my Faceless account here. So now copy account ID. I'm going to copy my account ID here. And let me just make sure we're getting the screen recording good. Here we are. I'm checking my Camtasia app here. So we got our account, copy account ID, go back to the N8N template here. And don't forget to save your N8N template. So if you have to go in and out of it, right, you can go back to the same template, because I didn't save it initially while I was making this video. And this video has taken me like, I don't know, over a week to make. So in between the days that I'm making this video, I did not for the first time save my template or my workflow here, and I had to redo some of the things. It wasn't a big deal because Sabrina's created an excellent template here, because just plug and play. But I did have to go back and reinstall certain things in the node, or re-input certain things in the first couple nodes or whatnot. All right, so we got that in there. We got our API key. We got our one TikTok ID in there. So now I'm going to go back to Sabrina's video and see what we do after at this point.
For that node, and then prepare for publish. Put in your Blotato API key and one of your account IDs, and that's it. It's all you need to run the entire workflow the first time. Now, if you run into any issues on your first run, you can see it here.
I didn't hear that. I had my volume down.
That's all you need to do to run the initial version. So just to recap real quick, all you need to do is only activated TikTok and Instagram here, but you should just leave activated the one that you're testing on. Then you will need this upload to step. So I'll just leave.
Go back to where she actually.
Technically, you don't need this node because we already created the video in Blotato, but I will leave this node here in case you decide to.
Let me back up more.
You have, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook,
right.
I would suggest enabling only one of them for now while you're testing, and you don't need to change anything else. Over here, this uploads the media to Blotato. Technically, you don't need this node because we already created the video in Blotato, but I will leave this node here in case you decide to change this workflow and upload some other kind of video or generate it with some other kind of service. Then you will need this upload to step. So I'll just leave it in here for now. Okay, and then all of this, even though it looks complicated, it's just publishing to the different social platforms. Okay, so I have only activated TikTok and Instagram here, but you should just leave activated the one that you're testing on. So if you're testing to Facebook, click this button to activate it, and then deactivate the other ones. Okay, so just activate the only one that you want to test.
All right, so let's activate. So we got to activate those nodes. So let's go back to those nodes, and let me just zoom in here. That's Instagram, TikTok. So deactivate Instagram, activate TikTok. No, that's Facebook. It's hard to see because let me actually zoom in. Let me zoom in more. It's crazy zooming in on this. I can't even do it good. All right, I can see it better this way, even though it's kind of veered to the right. Okay, this is Facebook. The Instagram is deactivated. The Facebook, deactivated, deactivated. LinkedIn, deactivated. TikTok, and activate. All right, that's interesting because I tried to do the TikTok, it said deactivated, but everything else. So let me just make sure it's all deactivated. Deactivated. I think I'm doing this right. All right, so, okay. Let's go back to the video, see what she says.
And then you should be good to go. That's all you need to do to run the initial version. So just to recap real quick, all you need to do is prepare video, put in your API key. Okay, that's it for that node. And then prepare for publish. Put in your Blotato API key and one of your account IDs, and that's it. That's all you need to run the entire workflow the first time. Now, if you run into any issues on your first run, you can see it here. In Blotato, go to failed post. You'll have a log here if something fails. Here are some other common reasons why your run might fail. If you're getting an unauthorized, just make sure you're copying your Blotato API key correctly. If at this step, get video, it's returning ready instead of the actual video URL. That means the video isn't done exporting yet, so you'll need to increase the wait time. So again, 10 minutes is the minimum I recommend if you are animating your images into video clips and if you have longer than a 15-second script. If your social post fails, just make sure that your account's ID you've copied correctly, and you may want to refresh the connection in Blotato. Okay, and all the videos you create through the API, you can also see within Blotato. So if you go to videos, view latest videos, here's the Napoleon one that I just made through this automation, and here's the video itself. And this uses FramePack for animation and recraft images. So these are really high quality videos achieved through this single API call is pretty amazing, and you can choose to mix and match different image and video models. So now I'm going to talk about the ways to customize this workflow so that it fits your niche and fits your style. Okay, so starting on the left hand side, the AI agent, open this up, click this to expand it. Okay, and obviously you'll probably want to change the niche. So here I'm just brainstorming ideas on this niche. You may want to change the duration of the video scripts.
So
you may want to change these instructions. I recommend leaving this as is, the output format, because this is a nice clean structure that makes it easy for processing. So that's one thing you want to customize. Open prepare video again, and then expand it by clicking this. And there's a bunch of stuff here that you can customize. So go to the Blotato API docs, create video, okay, here. And again, these are all the different parameters and options you can choose from. So right now we're using the empty templates, but you could try the POV templates. There's lots of different 11 Labs voices you can choose from. Click voice IDs here to see all of them. Caption position, top, middle, or bottom. Like I walked through before, you can customize all of these different options. So if you want animated video clips, if it's your first time doing it, I just set this to true. Don't animate all of them yet. Once this is good to go, then you can set this to true, right, to animate all of them. Okay. And like I said before, mix and match the text to image model and image to video.
I put this to true, like to animate the photo. I should have kept it to false until I had tests run it. So it might come up as an error. So let me see what my workflow is doing. It's still saying executing workflow. So, and I've got some errors right here. Let me stop it. Let me go back to what she was talking about here. Let me keep the animate all to false, and then I'm going to re-execute false. I think I messed up the spacing on that. True, there is a space. There is a space. Let me just make sure. Right there, and there's a semicolon and a quotation. Okay, cool. Let me go back and let's see if I can test the workflow. So there's an error here in the brainstorm section. I exceeded my plan and billing details. This service is receiving too many requests from you. You exceeded your current quota. Please check your planning and billing for more information. On this error, read the docs back from OpenAI. So it's saying that I have an OpenAI account that is paid. So I don't know why it's saying I exceeded my plan. Let me make sure my account is correct. It says my connection is successful. Let me go back to the OpenAI key. I have the link to the OpenAI key over here in my Notion. Let me just grab it. I have to go back there and make sure that the OpenAI is all set, because now I'm getting an error with my OpenAI account, and that shouldn't be the case because I have a paid account. So let me get that in there. Let me go to my YouTube. Let me go to this video specifically, and I have the link here, which I'll also leave the link for you guys on how to get your OpenAI key. So here it is, N8N template. Let me just create a new secret key. N8N2 default project. I wonder if it has something to do with these restrictions. Restricted, read, write. I wonder if it has to do with these create new secret, if it's these restrictions here. Let me change it to write. Maybe that's the, let me copy that. Let me put in my API key again. All right, Let me go back and test workflow again. See if I get any errors. Wow, I'm still getting an error from my OpenAI. Let me copy and paste this link here that says read the docs for OpenAI to see if it tells me anything, any instructions. So these are some of the potential errors here. Let me find the one that says exceeding. Send a request to click the solution. Patient request, read the rate limit guide. So it might be this right here, rate limit guide for request. It also said quota. All right here, you exceed your current quota. Please check your plan and billing details right here. So this error message indicates that you hit your monthly usage limit for the API or for the prepaid credit customers that you've consumed on all your credits. You can view your maximum use limits rates right here, limit page. This could happen for several reasons, such as you are using a high volume or complex service that consumes a lot of credits or tokens. Your monthly budget is set for too low for your organization's usage. Your monthly budget is set too low for your project's usage. So we don't have enough of a monthly budget for ChatGPT. I wonder if I change the ChatGPT to something else. Let me open the mode. If I change it to a different model, maybe to 3.5 turbo, see if that helps. Test workflow. Still, I'm changing. Let me go lower. Let me go to this one right here, 4.0. Nope. Maybe 4.0 mini. Let's try that. So this is now, there's an issue now with my ChatGPT account as far as the usage. So let me check my usage on ChatGPT here. Check my current usage. My monthly budget is 18 because I pay $20 a month. So users, let me check this API key box here. View legacy dashboard. So my limit is $18. I wonder if I increase the limit, will it allow me? So it gives you the rate limits here. See, this is crazy because it says I'm on a free account, but I'm not. Current tier, free account. Usage tier 1. Start by upgrading and pay at least. That's crazy because I'm not in a free account usage limits. Unless that's just a warning, like a baseline default warning. Start by upgrading to a pay account. This is weird. Limits. Let me buy credits to see if that does anything. We're going to buy credits to see if that does anything. Keep saying my credentials are incorrect. That's not true. Let me ask ChatGPT. I'm trying to use API keys and it won't let me. N8N template. Oh, see, I need to increase my plan. So that's a good thing to know. So I need to increase my plan because under the $20 plan, you can't use the API keys. So limits, maybe buy credits. So let's see if I buy a $10 credit, if it'll let me use API. So good things to know. Let me make sure I'm still in focus here. You can't use the API. Oh, now my bank account wants to know. Okay, we're back. So we are nice and quiet now. There's no kids, no dogs down here. So I was able to add I was able to add credits onto my ChatGPT so I can use the API settings for the amount of credits that it takes to make this N8N template work here with Blotato. So just a point of reference here. Just understand that if you're going to use your ChatGPT subscription, the $20 a month does not suffice to use this. You have to have some additional credits. So I put $10 and it worked. But now, as I'm trying to test this workflow, we encountered another problem. So we have a problem in Node Create Video. So there's an authorization fail. So please check your credentials. So this is the middle node here, Create Faceless Video. So it looks, I can see the error mark right here. So that might be an authentication with probably my Blotato AI key. So I'm looking at it here. So it might mean that I need to put in my Blotato AI key. So let me go back to Blotato AI and copy my keys, API key, and then let me input it here. The thing that's tricky is I don't know exactly where to copy and paste it. So test step. So that was an issue. So that's not it. So I think I screwed up this area here. I wonder if I can backspace to undo it. There's no undo button. Let me open up this node here. This node, I don't think there's anything. It's the issue. I think it's that node we were just in. But let me just double check this. Prepare video. Yeah, it might be the prepare video section, but I think it said. So this has an invalid syntax, so I got to fix this. And there's no way to undo it. Okay. What I am gonna do is I'm gonna save this, and then I'm gonna input the same template that she gave us and copy and paste what was in there and put it back in my saved template. So I think it probably is the create video section where I put the POV for the template. I should have just left it as empty like she said, but I want the POV. But let's leave it as, I'll go back and leave it as empty. But let me create a new workflow. Let's import from file here, and we'll go here and open this tab, and I'll see what she had. She had this right here, so I'm just gonna copy here, and then we're gonna go back up. My daughter's up. I'm gonna go back here, open it. And I'm going to paste. Okay, so that's good now. And I think it's this right here. Let's test the workflow again. Create video. Please check your credentials. So it's this node right here that keeps coming up as an error. And where's my credentials? All right, we got to pause. Test 1, 2, check 1, 2. All right, let me make sure I am good to go with my autofocus because I've been having issues with either moving my hand in front of my camera and I lose focus and I just don't like the image quality. So it looks okay, right? Let me know in the comments how my autofocus looks. I think it looks good, right? I'm trying to look at myself while looking at the camera. Okay. All right, so let's get back to this. So we're having an issue here with the authentication. Maybe there's something I missed in the video. I thought we didn't have to do anything here. Maybe in the JSON file, there's a section for API key. Those pants are dirty. They're dirty. Because they are washed. They're still dirty. And they don't fit me. So maybe I can check my credentials. Okay, so there's an issue with my credentials. So let me see if the credentials go in here. I don't think so. Right, that is my Blotato key. Let me see what my Blotato key is. I'm just going to copy and paste it on anything. Copy API key. That's it. So that's it right there. So it should look like this. I just don't know exactly what the issue is here. It's the JSON file. Maybe authentication right here, generic credential type. I wonder if I don't have the correct account to be able to do this. So after all those hours and going through the errors that we went through, we were finally able to post our content on TikTok, and I'll show you guys that. So we encountered, if by the way, if you've been watching this video, this is the longest video of my life, and if you've been watching it till the end here, kudos, thank you, I appreciate it. I just really wanted to take you guys on this experience and just watching me go through this like a complete beginner, like I said, through beginning through the ending. And after all the errors and the rigorous process of going through that, we were able to use this N8N template that Sabrina gave us. We were able to create the video and actually post it, and I'll show you guys the video that it created, and I'll show you guys the most common errors. Actually, one of the errors that I saw in that comment that we read in that video that Sabrina made was the authentication error. And there was something along those lines that Sabrina wrote when she responded, said that it has to do with making sure you don't keep any white spaces in your API key. So it's an API key issue, and I'll show you guys where to put the API keys in the nodes and what to do if you get the error. If you think that you put in your API key correctly, but you still continue to get the error, we were able to get through that, and I'll show you guys that whole process and what to do. So the two major issues that we found initially, the first issue was the ChatGPT subscription and credits issue, right? I have a paid subscription, but in order to use it in this fashion with the template, you have to buy additional credits to be able to use the API feature, which we did. I put $20 towards my ChatGPT. And then like you guys saw, we encountered those authentication errors like crazy. And that was happening in every single node. And I'll show you guys how to fix that. But first, let's watch the video that it produced and did for us. It was an Albert Einstein video. And as you can see on my screen, it's right here.
Did you know Albert Einstein had a forgotten daughter? Her name was Liesel, and she was born in 1902. Discover the hidden story of her life. She mysteriously disappeared from history. Did you know Albert Einstein had
So
a
that's the
forgotten
video,
daughter?
pretty good,
Her name
right?
was
We did it
Liesel,
with her
and she was
empty
born in
template.
1902.
I want to move on to the POVs, and I'll show you guys what it looks like on Blotato. It's going to have your published posts. So as you can see here, it published the content right here. Albert Einstein had a secret daughter named Liezi, I believe. And then it posted it on my TikTok right here, the post URL, platforms TikTok. And then created 18 hours ago. I did this last night. That's when everything finally happened. So I've spent my whole life doing this video now, just a week doing this video. And I just wanted to make it raw and authentic this way. So I went through a lot of trial and error. So the major issue that we kept having was the authentication issue. So this has to do with your API. And it first happened in your the create video section. Here's where I first noticed it. And then it kept happening from every time I fixed one node, it would happen in the next node, that same error. So what you have to do is, or what I did was, right down here, when you first get the error initially, this is in the API key area here, it's going to show up some sort of, it's not going to have the API from your Blotato. It's going to have some sort of JSON file type of coding on there, right? So I just changed it to my API, right? But then I went on to the get video section. Then I saw the same error again. And then I put in my API key right here again, right there. I just put it in there. Or I just copied and pasted the API that I got from the previous node and put it in here. But then another issue happened. And then when I would fix it, right, the next, like, one node would be good. I would test step it. The test step would be good. And then I'll let it run. And then another node after that will have the same issue. So when that happens, when you're putting in the API key correctly, make sure there's no spaces, nothing like that. It's put in correctly. If that happens, it continues to come up as an error, even though you put it in correctly, just regenerate another API and put it in all the nodes. That's what I did. I just regenerated. I went back to Blotato. You go here and go to settings and just regenerate a new API. Okay. And also, when it initially first happens, this issue here, you want to go back to where Sabrina told us to initially put in our API key, which is, I believe, in this node here, not the right script with the ChatGPT. I think it's this right here. Nope, it's not even that. It's actually right here. Prepare video. Sorry, the prepare video. This node right here, prepare video node. I noticed too, one of the errors I had, because Sabrina mentioned white spaces. It was like this. If you notice my API serial number here, I had to press enter. It was like this. So it was not correctly aligned. So I had to step back and have it all in sync. Everything has to be in sync like this. No white spaces. Okay? And like I said, if all of those qualifiers are in place, there's no white spaces, you're putting in the right API, and you're still getting the error, regenerate a new API key and put those in the node. And then you just got to keep putting it on the nodes. And then there was one more error I had too. I had an error in the post TikTok. So let's go to the post to TikTok right here, post on social media. There was an error with my account ID, and the issue was, let me make sure this is it right here. No, it wasn't here. It was in the post of social media, but I think it was in in the upload to Blotato, where you put in your account ID, maybe right here, this one right here. Yes, right here. So the prepare for publish node. So I made a mistake. I took out the TikTok ID thing she has here in quotations, and I put my ID number there. So I had to go back and fix that. I had to put in TikTok ID. I just copied and pasted the YouTube one and put it down here and changed it to TikTok. And then I put in my account ID, which was 3604. So those were all the issues I had, and I was successfully able to create and post a video. So now on my next few videos, I want to actually go through the process of picking a calendar date to post, adding more social media platforms, and changing the template style to those POV type styles and animate everything instead of just having static pictures. So like I said, if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments. We're going to wrap this video up. I'm going to leave the link to where you can get your ChatGPT API key generated. I'll get you the link to that. And if you guys have any questions about what I did or you want me to make, I'll probably have to make a more condensed, just straightforward tutorial video on a step-by-step on how to do this. That's way more condensed. I just kind of wanted to try this for myself, do a really long video and make it crazy long. And then I'll just make a really good, condensed, nicely edited video where I'm going with the screen recording and I'm showing you guys just step-by-step real quick, 8 to 10 minutes long, exactly how to do all this. And then, like I said, we'll move forward. We're working with Blotato. We're going to try to use it to its fullest potential. So all the platforms posted, create those POV videos, put the calendar dates that we want, and see if we can let it scale and automate. We're going to work through that on this, okay? So keep following me for this Blotato series. I'm excited about it because this is a powerful tool. If you like this video, you know what I'm saying, like it, share it, watch it. Any questions, comments, concerns, you know where to leave them. And I'm thankful and I'm glad if you did watch this for the whole hour of your life. It cost me like 3 hours or more of my life making it, but that's all right. It's worth it. We got the end result, and that's what was important. All right. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.